headset, so I can't even use my podcast.
I just went live.
All right.
That's fine.
Hi, everybody.
Dude, everyone else is sleeping. This might just be me and you today.
We're not going to have a whole lot of people in the room today. It's fine.
That's why we're not doing a ticket giveaway. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get ready to rock here. Good morning, Philadelphia, and welcome into Bud Light Baseball Brunch on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler in Philadelphia. Download that iHeartRadio app, and you can listen to us anywhere, crystal clear, worldwide. I'm Chris Sack of Green Legion Radio, broadcasting to you from my house in Maple Shade, New Jersey, while my co-host, I'll tell you what a trooper this man is to have to battle through a doubleheader on Friday and not get back until late. Do you guys, I'm going to ask the question in a minute here because I want to know about your day yesterday and how you went about it. But this guy is an absolute trooper. First of all, he's not as much of a morning person as I am, as you can hear by the sound in my voice. This isn't Bud Light Baseball Brunch. It is on Sunday when you listen to us from 11 to 12. But if you are listening to the broadcast on Saturday morning, which we're doing at 8 a.m., you would know that right now there is a slight asterisk. Last year we did Bud Light Baseball happy hour in the evening at the end of the season. Now we're Bud Light Baseball breakfast here on Saturday morning, and I sit alongside my co-host in the StreamYard room, Phillies broadcaster Greg Murphy. Murph, how we feeling this morning?
Sluggish, but good because after 7 hours and 17 minutes of baseball yesterday, Phil's finished up with 2 wins. They've got Darren Nola on the mound today on this Saturday as we get ready for Saturday and Sunday here in D.C. So, you know, if you're going to play 2 and play into the wee hours of the night, might as well win them. And the Phils were able to do that. So, quick turnaround, but all's good. I'm not a morning person. You could have woken me up at 11 o'clock today, and I would still look and sound just like I do right now, which is not a good thing. So, but hey. Here we are, and I'm ready to talk some baseball. So
you know what? It's all good. You still look and sound better than me, which is not hard to do. And it's funny because we're doing this on Saturday, and for those of you that listened to the show last Sunday, I promoted on the show. I wasn't going to be on the show this week.
That's right.
But after we had our own roundtable, a discussion after the show last Sunday at Xfinity Live. We decided that this was probably the best bet and the best option to where the two of us can do this together. We kicked around the idea about doing it on Friday, but we wanted to have the doubleheader to talk about. And thank God we waited because this team is red hot, and we're going to dive into that in just a little bit. But doing this at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, I got to be out of the house at 10 o'clock. My brother's getting married today. It's going to be a beautiful day down in Galloway, New Jersey. I think 71 in Maple Shade is the high, which I think down towards the shore, it's always 10 degrees cooler down by the shore. And I'm a sweater, so it's a good thing that we're going to be in cooler temperatures, and I'm going to be wearing a tuxedo today. But this first segment is brought to you by our good friends at State Farm. Just as your local State Farm agent combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto, and guess what you'll get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. In fact, State Farm agent Dave Bavuso in Williamstown is your go-to agent for the service you deserve at the price you want. So try combining home and auto today. State Farm agent Dave Bavuso will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call 856-740-5012 for your surprisingly great rates. That's 856-740-5012. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. For those of you that tune into us on a regular basis, know that normally we dive into our side topic at this point, and we give away tickets. And I love giving away tickets every single week, but it just doesn't make any sense for us to give them away. I don't expect anybody to really be in our social media platforms following us this morning.
Probably not.
No, I mean, first of all, we have
a late group, like they were up when I was up last night, which I appreciate. So the fact that they would think about having to get up quite this early to join us, let them sleep. Most of them are probably going to wake up with a headache anyway. So, we probably don't want to talk too loud for that.
Sounds like Super Sam Brady.
She made it to the show. She made it.
She was out. She was like Coyote Ugly last night. She was on the bar in Atlantic City. She's still wearing the same makeup from last night. She looks fantastic, by the way. Both of you, for not being morning people, you both look great. I look like hell. I'm up at 6:30 every day of the week, no matter what day of the week it is. So we're good. We're good to go here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch. But the ticket giveaway, we will have it back next week. Murph and I are going to have to talk about our schedule next week because I know he's in San Diego and I'm going to be in upstate New York. So we might have to do another Saturday recording next week. But I'll tell you what, Murph, this is something, this right here, we might as well hash it out just a little bit because we have time. We have plenty of time right now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be next Saturday morning. I will be in Cooperstown, New York.
Nice.
So I will be, Rach and I, we were supposed to go up a couple years ago, but obviously COVID hit. So her mom is going to watch the kids on Friday night, Saturday morning. So we're going to spend the night in Cooperstown, New York. And I'm thinking, why not try and find a spot to where I can record the show in Cooperstown while you're in San Diego?
Wouldn't that be great? I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah,
two guys on location, one with the team and one in the hallowed halls of baseball's Hall of Fame, or at least in the shadows of baseball's Hall of Fame. That's very cool. I like it. Yeah, so I think we could have some fun with that. Maybe we'll do it later in the day because you're going to be 3 hours behind me, and we'll be doing the Baseball Hall of Fame when they open. I think it's like 9:30. So I could talk about my experiences going through that. I've been there 7-8 times. I love the Hall of Fame. It never gets old. And are you ready? I've never been. Really? Never been. For a baseball fanatic such as yourself, that surprises me. It's one of those things that for the last 12 or 13 years I've kind of been immersed in baseball, and then when the season's over, it's like, let's get away from baseball for a little while. Right. You have a month or two to kind of decompress, and so it's not something that's first and foremost. And plus, it's the winter at that point. Cooperstown in the winter, not as great probably as Cooperstown in the summer. I've been to Cooperstown one time for a day where my son was playing baseball, and he had a tournament up there, and I got in and out in the day, but I wasn't able to get to the Hall of Fame. So one of these days, it's really bad that I haven't been there. So I'll get there one of these days. This is kind of like me never watching The Godfather. I'm just not as upset with you over it. Don't get me started. Hey, let's get out of the box here on this Saturday morning recording for our Sunday slot on this. It's going to be great, though, for those of you that are going to be listening to the radio side of things. The Phillies play at 12:05 on Sunday. Yeah. And so while our program is being played on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, on the Phillies radio network, Murph will be doing the pregame show. So Murph will be competing against Murph for ratings, Nielsen ratings. I'll probably still lose. You're never a loser in our hearts here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch, my partner. Hey, you said get out of the box, right? Because that's what we call our first segment. Absolutely. In my opinion, maybe the biggest play in the second game of the doubleheader last night was JT Realmuto, who has struggled this season, who has rolled into a double play, it seems like, in the most important moments of the season so far. Last night, big moment, rolls over, hits one to shortstop, gets out of the box as fast as he can, because he's a great athlete. Great athlete, no doubt. And down the line, called out at first, but it's overturned, which allowed Bryce Harper to get to the plate. And then we remember, the whole there's so much to unpack about all that. But him getting out of the box, one of those little things that ball players can do to help their teams win. He did that last night, and it was a huge moment in that game. So. It's funny because our regular Sunday producer in the studio when we're on site at Xfinity Live, John Jansen. He tweeted last night because he caught the foul tip that for the second out in the ninth inning. It was a huge move. And Jansen, of course, he likes to be a smart ass. He likes to think, his tweets are funny, and I'll give him credit. Some of them actually are. But he put out there that was the best thing that JT has done in weeks. And I was like, you're forgetting what he did the inning prior. But I get it's doing your job, and he called it damage control when he responded to me. But
for as rough as things have been going for JT this season, it could have been very easy for him to hit that ball, knowing that it's a ground ball double play, for him to sulk in that moment and not bust his ass down the line. Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's unbelievable to see him do that in that moment. And like you said, it got Bryce to the plate, who pinch hit for Odubel Herrera. He didn't start in that game. So we were able, like in most spots, he would have been in the 3-hole. And instead of us pinch hitting in the 5 holes where Odubel was at in that second game, and that moment in time, it's unbelievable too. The home plate umpire gave us like they were trying to intentionally walk Bryce without intentionally walking Bryce,
which was a huge mistake on their part. But go ahead, go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of mistakes in the Nationals, and that's the reason why. And I want to die. I'll tell you what, Murph. I was thinking about this a lot yesterday about this Nationals team, and because Anthony Rendon is shut down for the season now. Yeah. The guys that were on that 2019 team that have completely fallen apart physically and mentally since they won that World Series 3 years ago. We're going to dive into that in the second segment because I want to talk about other teams. I want to go around the league a little bit, but it's unbelievable to think about how far they've fallen since that moment in time. But Bryce comes up to the plate, and you try to intentionally walk him without intentionally walking him. And the home plate umpire gives us a gift. Most cases, you're sitting there going, hey, all right, cool. Not a problem. Bases loaded. We have whoever's coming up behind Bryce with 2 outs. But in that moment, Bryce, you could tell he's perturbed. He turns and he says something to the home plate umpire, and then he just rips one into the gap. And I have this on the run sheet here, Murph, about, and this is something I want to talk about. This run that the Phillies have been on since June 1st, 14-2, first time since August 1977 that they have won 14 of their first 16 in the calendar month in a season. Yeah. There's a lot of special teams that have played since 1977, right. And for none of them to do this is a pat in the back of the players in that clubhouse and Rob Thompson since he's taken over the helms of this team. But if you look at this run since June 1st, the unlikeliest of heroes, the guys that are coming through, like Bryce has had a couple huge hits, the game-tying grand slam, the game-tying double last night, but Matt Vierling with his second go-ahead home run on the road in a tough situation against the other team's closer in a matter of a week. The guy's in AAA a week and a half ago, and he's coming up in huge spots. Bryson Stott, Rhys Hoskins with his first walk-off hit of his career.
Garrett Stubbs coming through with the 3-run shot.
This is just like these guys are pulling for one another. And last night when Rhys came back to the dugout, and I'm yelling at the TV screen, not knowing about the runner interference at the moment, because I'm like, Dusty, what are you doing? It's not like Rhys Hoskins is JT or Harper and you're waving him around third. I'm like, what are you doing? But when they found out what Dusty had done, because he knew of the interference at the time and sending him home, and he said to Rhys as he's turning, "You're going to be out, but we can still get this run here." And seeing the reaction of the guys in the clubhouse, Murph, this is where the start of something special starts to permeate within that clubhouse.
You know, it's such a great point. What happened with Dusty, and if folks don't know or didn't see it, Rhys was at second base. Ball was hit back up the middle by JT, and the shortstop and Rhys.
Another big moment for JT, by the way. John Jansen.
Huge moment.
John Jansen.
So they collide, and the third base umpire points and calls interference, or actually he calls obstruction, which is there are 2 different rules, strangely enough, but he calls obstruction, and Dusty Wathan sees that and knows there's no way in the world that Rhys is going to score. But if he stops him at third, Rhys is going to end up on third. So he sends him. It's such a split decision, in the moment. But when you have good baseball minds and good baseball people out there as coaches on the base pass and in your dugout, the way they see the game, it happens so quickly for them. And Dusty was able to make that decision so quickly. And it ended up being the game-winning run. Your third base coach got you the game-winning run. And when your third base coach is contributing to wins in the month of June at 14-2, you know things are going good. And it shouldn't go unnoticed that happened, because Dusty is a great baseball mind. He really is. And there he is using it to help the Phillies win a game. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, this team right now, and Murph, us doing this show the last year and a half together, I can't recall a time where we've had 2 consecutive weeks of positivity.
Well, we haven't, probably, because that's the way that team was.
Yeah, it simply has not existed. It's been a roller coaster. One week we're sitting there, singing their praises, and the following week you've got me ripping whatever hair I actually had left on my head out of, and right now I'm completely bald. I'm bicked, but yeah, I'm bicked. My neighbor who cut my hair yesterday, she, her husband's a cop. Her brother's a state trooper, so she gets a lot of clients that are police officers. So I knew I could trust her with making sure that my head was nice and clean for the wedding today. But the dramatics on this team right now, Murph, it's so much fun to watch because it brings you back. It's been a long time since a Phillies team has captivated you in this manner, where you get into later innings, and we talked about this. I'm sorry. At the beginning of the season, on our opening day, we didn't get a preseason show this year like we did last year, but we knew when we signed Castellanos and Schwarber, and the lineup got longer, and we said it that very day on opening day that this team right now, currently constructed offensively with this lineup, they're not out of any game.
Yeah.
Out of any game, this team has a shot in the late innings, and they have not disappointed these last couple weeks.
Yeah, but to your previous point, the guys that you just mentioned, the Castellanos and the Harper and the JTs and the Reeses, we knew that those guys were going to produce. What you didn't know was the rest of them, right? The Stubbses, the Veerlings, the Stotts,
the Alec Bohms.
Yeah, those guys also producing. And when that happens, you don't need your superstars to all be hot at once, because they haven't been yet. I mean, you think about it. Nick is just starting to heat up a little bit. JT's hasn't, maybe last night he turns the corner. But, other than Bryce, Gene when he was playing, I guess, who am I missing? I'm missing Schwarber, obviously, in the month of June. But
unbelievable.
But they haven't all been hot together yet. Excuse me, and they might be soon, which is going to be ridiculous. So,
yeah, and listen, I think we knew all along that as the schedule tended to ease up a little bit here over the last couple of weeks. I mean, playing teams like the Diamondbacks and the Marlins and the Nationals, who are the dreck of the National League, it's going to help you. But you stated this, and I give you full credit with this. When we were going through that sludge in May, you were sitting there and you were the one that was tooting the horn saying, listen, the Mets and the Braves, for as good as they are, and the Braves didn't really get hot yet, they had the opportunity to beat up on the Nationals that the Phillies hadn't yet had. We were supposed to play the Nationals in the first week of the season, and that's the reason why yesterday's doubleheader, going to be another one at the end of the season. Trying to fill in these spots to catch up and make up on these games. But I'll tell you, partner, this stretch has been a lot of fun. It's been special, but they got to keep it up. The Braves got cooled off a little bit on Friday, losing. No doubt, losing 1-0. But I'll tell you what, the division is still within reach. Like 7.5 with 17 to go in 2007, and I know. We talked about this. It's a different cast of characters. That team learned how to fail together before they learned how to win together, and they got into that stretch at the end of the season. This team, they're finding themselves, they're identifying themselves right now, who they are, who they want to be. But those guys that they added, Schwarber and Castellanos. Schwarber has played on one losing team in his career. And now he's doing this thing. I want you to expunge on this a little bit for me. Apparently, after games, after wins, Schwarber is doing toasts now to players in the clubhouse. I was listening to the post-game show the other day. Fransky had Stubbs on, and he's getting yelled at by Schwarber in the background to get into the locker room. And Schwarbs is doing toasts to the guys now after the game.
Well, I think Kyle has become the de facto voice in the clubhouse for big moments. That's not really Bryce's or Reese's style. And so it kind of falls, and certainly not Nick's style. So it kind of falls on Kyle. He has a big personality, and everybody who spends time with Kyle Schwarber likes Kyle Schwarber. I mean, he's just a really good human being, nice to be around, fun to be around, and he's got one of those infectious personalities. So he's the guy, that's going to get in the middle of the room and toast. After games, they want to celebrate with one another. We had Garrett on the postgame show, and we were holding. He had done TV, and then he'd come over to do radio, and so it had been like 7, 8, 9 minutes since the end of the game, and by the time we were finishing up that interview, the guys in the clubhouse were like, "Get him in here! We need to celebrate," which is awesome because that's the way it should be, right? And so certainly we said, "All right, Garrett, go!" And he took off and went into the clubhouse. But you need guys like that, right? You need guys that keep it loose, and now that Kyle's playing well, he can do that. When you're struggling, it's hard to do that, but he is obviously not struggling anymore. So. He is the guy in the middle there.
Kyle Schwarber hates waiting for his teammates to get into the locker room after post-game interviews. Yeah, kind of like Premier Window. They hate dirty windows. Oh, yeah. They're the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. Over 30 years experience, they offer commercial and residential window cleaning, pressure washing, parking garage cleaning, graffiti removal, post-construction cleaning. Every employee is trained and certified and goes through an extensive background check. At Premier Window Cleaning, your satisfaction level needs to be 100%. As no job is complete until you're happy. With clients like Lincoln Financial Field, Comcast, Chop Roberts, and University of Pennsylvania, you cannot go wrong. For more information and a full list of services, give them a call at 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Or go to their website, wehatedirtywindows.com. That's wehatedirtywindows.com. Coming up after break, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Phillies because we talked a lot about late inning dramatics, but we have a couple other things on the run sheet I want to touch on as well. We're going to go around the league. What has happened to the Washington Nationals over the last 3 years? We're going to touch on that when we come right back here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, Bud Light Baseball Brunch.
Cool. Hey, probably should have asked this before we started the show, but when I hit mute, you're not hearing me cough my head off, are you?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. All right. My cough's still not good. But
I haven't really noticed it lately.
Well, it's a long story, but I was on the meds. Once I got out of the hospital the last time, they got me on the meds, and it was great. And then the problem is that you can't stay on these meds forever. So right. They try to wean you off. So I got knocked down my first level. And as soon as I got knocked down the first level, came back. So I saw the doc last week, and they upped one of the two meds back up, but it's a little better, but it's not where it needs to be. So it's frustrating. I had a real hard time doing the postgame show 2 nights ago. I hardly got through it because when I'm by myself,
yeah,
I know I can feel it coming, so I can finish my thought and hit mute and let you take over. But when I'm by myself, I'm screwed. And I'm in the middle of a read, and I can't get through it. On live radio, it's terrible.
Did you guys do the roundtable on Friday nights?
We did,
on the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it last night. It was funny, but nothing compared to last week. Last week, I don't know. You heard last week's, right? When we were
yeah.
When I couldn't breathe. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's the all timer. That's the funniest one I've ever been a part of. Let me get a pen real quick just so I can start jotting my picks down while we do this.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not going anywhere.
When you come back, I'll come right back in and I'll do the Ludlam Bar and Grill.
Okay.
And then you could just do your picks while I'm doing that.
Alrighty. Just need paper. There we go. All right. I'm good.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome back for the second segment here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, brought to you by our friends at the Ludlam Bar and Grill, that we are happy to introduce to you for the first time, the fully renovated Ludlam Hotel at 4000 Landis Avenue in Sea Isle City. Yes, the old La Costa with the complete renovation finished. You will now see a brand new look, feel, and vibe set amongst a casually sophisticated bar, a cozy a la carte dining room, and the only mellow lounge in Townsend Inlet. The menu is seasonal, offering the freshest local seafood, cooked simple to ensure that flavor that already exists stays that way. The hotel is open year-round, and all guests enjoy free Wi-Fi, one free parking spot per per room and complimentary beach tags for all registered adults, walking distance to everything. Check out ludlamhotel.com. That's Ludlam, Ludlam, hotel.com, or call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829. For all your reservation, dining, or entertainment questions, the Ludlam Bar and Grill, your new oasis in Sea City. Speaking of the Ludlam Bar and Grill, July 23rd, Saturday, July 23rd, the Phillies will play the Chicago Cubs that night at 6:05 at Citizens Bank Park. But this is a great but. From 12 to 1 that Saturday, we will be live at the Ludlam Bar and Grill Bud Light Baseball Brunch. Chris Sack, Greg Murphy down at the Ludlam Bar and Grill, which will also be followed by Green Legion Radio from 1 to 3 on Saturday afternoon, starring yours truly, of course, and Quimby, Michael Shut Up Diaz, and Eagles legendary wide receiver Irving Fryer will be at the show. Irving is now a permanent. Yeah. Irving's a great guy. Great wonderful dude. Guy. Yes. I'm so excited that he is now a full-time contributor to Green Legion Radio. Irv and I were able to do the pregame show last year in studio before the Giants game. The Giants game, the Eagles wound up losing. But I got to, do a one-on-one with him, kind of just like what we do on Sunday mornings. And then we did the Freeze Fest in Delaware County. We did the Freeze Fest, me, him, and Dave Spadaro, and Super Sam Brady. Sam, you want to smack Michael Diaz. You need to smack me too. I forgot about you last week, but Super Sam Brady will be there. She's the best looking one out of all of us. So you want to make sure you come down and see her as well. Saturday, July 23rd, come down. Spend some time with us. Murph will sign autographs, take pictures. He's been doing that a lot at Xfinity Live this season. What a celebrity I get to work with. It's phenomenal stuff. Nobody asked for my autograph, and
aren't you so lucky?
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they want me to ruin a piece of paper, but I will if they want me to.
All right, Murph. So another big thing that's happened this week is the Corey Knebel situation on Tuesday night. Yep. I know he wasn't helped out by the defense in a couple different circumstances. I'm sure he wasn't thrilled or happy about it because he's at 11 saves this year, 4 blown saves. But, JT dropping that pop up, Alec Boehm, who's played really well since his early season struggles. He made 2 huge plays at the end of that game on Friday night. I'm sitting there. I was a little upset with Rob Thompson for a minute, and this is the first time I could say this for a couple weeks. Why was he taking Bilotti out when he was pitching so well? And he only threw 11 pitches, and then he brought in Alvarado. And I know Soto doesn't have a lot of success against Alvarado, but that move right there, Murph, I was a little perturbed in the moment because a runner on first and Alvarado's control issues, he's got to stay in and face 3 batters, and he could walk all 3 of them, and you lose the game. Where was your head at in that moment, real quick?
Well, I agree with you. You as fans, we sit back, as broadcasters, we sit back and we watch the moves, and sometimes you question, wait, I wouldn't do this kind of thing. But here's my impression of Rob Thompson. I don't know if you can see my little machine behind me.
I have seen that. I thought it was just a giant iPhone.
No, this is my little podcaster machine. But see all these little buttons here?
Yeah.
This is Rob Thompson pressing every right button. This is what he does. He goes, beep, 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 beep. I'm going to press this one. That'll work. That'll do that. I mean, it's almost impossible to argue with what he has been able to do. I almost can't question any decision he's made because they've pretty much all worked out. That's not going to always be the case. He's going to make a move and it's not going to work. That's the way baseball works. But I think at this moment we give him the benefit of the doubt and say, all right, Skip, if that's what you think, then go for it.
Yeah, Alvarado got the ground ball after he walked Soto. He got the ground ball, and then Didi had the error, and you could just tell the look on Didi's face in that moment in time. He's like, just get me out of this inning.
Only his second error of the year too. Yeah, it's not like he's been bad. He's been terrific out there.
He's been really good since he came back from the IL too, both at the plate and in the field. But back to Knebel, you're in the clubhouse. You were on the train with the guys coming down to Washington D.C. What's he been like since that moment in time that he's been removed and they've gone to a closer by committee?
A pro. That's what Corey Knebel's been like. And I don't think we would have expected anything else from him. You know, he's a veteran guy. He gets it. He's struggling. Would he have pulled himself out of the role? No. Did he argue to stay in that role? Yes. And as you would expect and as you would want. But Rob said, you know, you need some time, and we're going to get you in some lower leverage situations so you can figure it out. You know, Corey needs both his pitches working. He needs his fastball and he needs his curveball. And he was struggling with both at the end there. So, you know, we saw him last night. He came in. He got the job done. That was good to see. And hopefully they're going to need this guy. And they're going to need him in the back end of the bullpen. So they got to get him right. And that's what they're trying to do.
Closer by committee. I'm looking at Sir Anthony, Brad Hand, Connor Brogdon. Those three guys should be the first ones coming out every single night as to attempt to close the game. Do you disagree, or do you see them mixing in Familia and Alvarado in the situations as well?
Well, so what you just said is the perfect scenario, but it can't happen every night. That's the problem. That's why you need 13 guys in your bullpen and not 3, right? Because if the 3 guys could pitch every night, you wouldn't have an issue. Everybody would have a great bullpen. But that's not the way baseball works. That's not the way the human body works. These guys need time to rest. They need time to recover. Now, you know, I come from an era where guys pitched 3 days in a row. Guys pitched 4 days in a row if they had to. That time is over. It just doesn't happen in baseball anymore. So you need the rest of those guys as well. And in game 1, Rob Thompson used his big horses, right, to win game 1 on Friday. And then in game 2, he had to mix and match a little bit. But the guys he brought in got the job done. You know, it wasn't easy, a little dicey at times, but they got the job done. And that's what's going to have to happen. So, yeah, you would love to bring in those 3 guys in every close game that you have, and then use the other guys when you have a little bit of a wiggle room. But that's not always going to be the case. So those guys are going to have to contribute. And when you think back to the teams 08, 09, that bullpen, you know, you had your studs. Obviously, you had Lidge and Madsen and those, but guys like Clay Condrey and Chad Durbin,
Scott Air,
and Scott Air. I mean, these guys weren't household names, but they came in and they got the job done more often than not, and that's why that team was so good. Did
you say Clay Condrey?
Yeah.
Okay, I loved Everyday Clay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
loved Everyday Clay, man. He would give you 3 innings in the middle when you're getting blown out, or he'd give you 3 innings at the end when you're blowing a team out.
And you can't win championships. You can't win World Series without guys like that. You have to have guys like that. And that's what the Phils are trying to figure out. Who are those guys and who are our back end guys? And once they do, you know, hopefully they can start really rolling and cooking with gas. So. Real
quick, the other day on Tuesday, Eflin leaves the game after 80 pitches, 6 innings, straightened himself out after that rough first with two-run shots given up. I see him as the probable starter on Sunday. Was there anything? I know he's supposed to reevaluate the next day. Are we good to go?
I think he's good to go. Yeah, we've been told checked out well, and ready to go. Zach was not overly concerned even immediately after the game. He had gotten some treatment right after the game, felt better almost immediately. So maybe it was just some tightness. Maybe it was, a cramp issue. I don't know. But the bottom line is after being reevaluated the next day, felt good. So it sounds like he's good to go. Now, certainly they're going to watch him, right? You know, he'll probably be watched very closely on Sunday. And if he has any discomfort, then they're probably going to pull him out. But let's hope it was a one-time thing and he's able to move on.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about, I know we teased it at the end of the first segment here, the Washington Nationals, a team that had a long run of success from 2012. 2019 obviously was the here-all end-all. They wound up winning the World Series. But, man, I'll tell you what, these guys that they invested a lot of money into, and then even teams that have invested money into them. I mean, like if you look at Anthony Rendon, he's spent 3 seasons now with the Angels. I saw this the other day. I think he's hovering around 250 batting average. He has 20 total home runs. I know shortened season in 2020. He's out the rest of the year now with a wrist injury, but he played a good portion of last year. His struggles with the Angels, Patrick Corbin has completely fallen off a cliff. I mean, that guy can't get out of his own way. I mean, what's his ERA now? 7 or 8?
It's close. It's over 7, I believe.
Strasburg he came back and had one start, and now he's back on the IL. I mean,
he's done. I'm sorry. I think Steven Strasburg is done.
He's got 4 or 5 years left on his deal. Corbin's got another 3. I mean, like, listen, we saw there was sustained success with the Phillies after they won the World Series in 2008. 2009, 10, 11, and then you kind of started to see the wheels start to fall off after that. Howard's injury at the end of 2011, Halladay falling apart, Lee's struggles, not getting his first win to July 4th in 2012. But man, this has happened real fast for this Nationals team. And I know a lot of people wanted to ridicule and bash Bryce for leaving DC and how they won the World Series the first year without him. But it's kind of that Jason Worth theory. When Jason left here after 2010 and he went to the Nationals, everybody's like, oh, he just went there to take the money. That's what he went there for. Well, he was in the playoffs, 4 or 5 times in a 7-year stretch that he was there. And it worked out for him. And Bryce hasn't gotten to the playoffs yet here in Philadelphia. But the situation in Philadelphia, years later now, his 4th year with the Phillies, it looks a lot better than what is going on in Washington. This is not going to be a quick turnaround in DC.
Yeah. And the only thing that Washington can hang their hat on is that they did win the World Series. So it gives them a little bit of time. You look at that contract with Patrick Corbin, you're like, oh my God, that's going to be a disaster. Except they won a World Series. Steven Strasburg.
And he was a big part of it.
Huge part. And Steven Strasburg injured again. And oh God, he'll never be as good as we thought he was going to be. But they won a World Series, and so that's the only thing that organization at this moment can kind of say. So it does buy you a little time when you win the World Championship, and it kind of smooths over any mistakes that become apparent after the fact. So they're in dire straits. They have not much at all on that 40-man right now, and they certainly have their work cut out for them. And it sounds as though they're entertaining offers to sell the team, which, you don't get better when your ownership is trying to sell the team, So it sounds like the Nats are going to be kind of mired for a while. But they won the World Series in 2019. So, now as they get further and further away from that, it becomes less and less cachet. But it's a shame because Ryan Zimmerman his numbers being retired this weekend. Ryan Zimmerman.
Well-deserved.
Absolutely. You talk about a baseball player that you just have to respect, Ryan Zimmerman. A lot of his former teammates are back. Jason Worth is back. Ian Desmond, a bunch of them.
Bryce is in town?
And Bryce is in town. Yeah. And I talked to Bryce yesterday on the pregame show about Zim and his relationship with him and what kind of teammate he was. But anyway, but last night they had 15,000 people in the stands. They're retiring the face of their franchise, the cornerstone of the Washington Nationals over the last 15 years. And they had 15,000 people there. That's a shame. When
how many of them were Phillies fans? How many of those were Phillies fans?
Probably at least a third, right? So, you think back to when Jimmy and Ryan and Chase had their nights, we were a bad team.
We packed.
And that's the difference, I think, between the fan bases and the franchises. And, now today's the retirement ceremony. So we'll see what they draw. I hope it's packed because Ryan Zimmerman deserves that. And it was almost, I don't want to say embarrassing, but it was a little sad to see how small of a crowd was there yesterday to welcome him back kind of thing.
No doubt about it. But hey, Nationals Park is going to become Citizens Bank Park South yet again. We're ready for another run of takeovers down there. And speaking of takeovers, the Green Legion is the best at doing them. We do them every season. This is the 20th year of the Green Legion. We're going to take over Chicago, Arizona, Indianapolis, Houston. We're going to have the bye-week bender in Punta Cana. We got a lot coming up for you this upcoming season. Quimby is going to pull out all the stops for the 20th year of the Green Legion. Make sure you guys sign up for your trip today. call the office at 215-666-5940 or go to the website, greenlegion.com. That's 215-666-5940 or go to the website, greenlegion.com. In our last segment, we have to get our picks in for Saturday's action. We have some Can You Believe It's ahead for you, and we're going to talk about the week ahead, which Murph has a little bit more traveling to do right here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch. We'll be right back right after these messages.
All right.
Who do you have? You want to review our picks real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to go over in the Dodgers. Yeah, so I had a question for you. The White Sox-Astros game. All right, are you playing that one?
I am not.
All right, White Sox-Astros. Astros are favored, minus 230.
Yep.
If I took the White Sox, is that like a super dog situation?
Well, are they plus 200?
I don't get the plus. Oh, yeah.
All right, so
yes, I
so
do.
It should show you on the whatever app you wind up using.
I'm on ESPN right now.
So the White Sox are plus 190. So the plus underdog that we have, which is plus 3 points, they have to be a plus 200 or above.
Okay. All right.
Now, now in the circumstance that you wound up taking the Astros and they're minus 230, that's a half pointer.
Yeah, that's not even
you don't want that.
No.
But I don't see anybody. The closest I mean, the Guardians are a plus 198. So
yeah. All right. I just need one more pick. Give me 1 sec.
You're good. Just like everything else with this, I've shotgunned the hell out of this as well.
Yeah.
Hey, great show though. Great show.
Yeah. I wish I could stop coughing. God damn. All right. I'll just close my eyes and pick one. Hold on. I'm gonna take. Okay. All right. So I've got San Diego over Colorado.
Okay.
San Diego's the favorite at minus 125. And then I got Yankees at Toronto. Toronto's the favorite at minus 135. So I'm taking the Yankees.
You're good. I saw that line too. I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Right. So, I mean, Yankees as an underdog. Yeah, I'll take that. And then I'm taking over in the Dodgers game.
Okay. I have none of those. All right. I got none of those. So we're good to go. All right, Slam. You ready to go?
All right. I don't have any Can You Believe It, but I'll try to find at least one. All right.
MLB stats.
Yeah, I know. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We can start. I'll get one.
All right, Sam, you ready? I'm just going to go 3, 2, 1. Welcome back for our final segment here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, Green Legion Radio. We are doing this thing on Saturday morning, and Murph is waking up as we speak throughout the course of this show. You guys are listening to us live. Well, not live. You guys listen to us on the radio from 11 to noon on Sunday morning. We'll be back to having live shows. We're going to have another recorded show next week. I'm going to be in Cooperstown, New York. Murph is going to be out in San Diego. We're going to set it up to where we're going to be able to do remotes from both spots on StreamYard for you guys to check us out. I'm thinking another 8 a.m. start next week, Murph. 5 a.m. work for you, West Coast time?
Yeah, I'll just be getting in.
We'll situate that. We'll talk about that later on during the week for sure. The next time that we are live, I think we're probably gonna have to be in studio on Sunday, July 3rd, right? I mean, that's the Cardinal series. They play Sunday Night Baseball, so we're gonna have to do the show from the studio that day instead of being down at Xfinity. It doesn't make sense. The Phillies play at 7:05, so we're not going to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
an odd Sunday schedule this year for sure.
Yeah. It's all good though. We're making it work. It's a collaborative team effort here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch between Murph and myself. Super Sam Brady, I got her in there today. Slash, thank you so much for cutting this up on Saturday as well before you go to the Kenny Chesney concert tonight. So we appreciate both of you for what you guys do. Yeah, he's gonna have a good time tonight, just like I am. I'm gonna be drunk as a skunk as soon as the kids leave the wedding. But let's get to our picks, Murph. We're picking for Saturday's action here because we don't know what the lines are going to be on Sunday by the time that comes along. Murph went 1-2 last week, as did I. And the funny thing is, Murph, we both wound up with our underdog selections being our W. So we both got 2 points despite our woeful efforts in the standings.
Okay.
You had the underdog Giants. I had the underdog Rangers. That gets you to 8-13 overall in the season with 10 points, and I'm at 11-10 with 15 points. Murph, don't call it a comeback. Who you got for me this week?
All right, here we go. This is the beginning of the comeback. This is the beginning of my June, of my Phillies June. Right?
Ooh, okay. I like that. You're a little late.
Yeah, but Yankees and Toronto playing today, Saturday, and for whatever reason, I can't figure it out. Toronto is the favorite in this one at -135. Toronto's a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a really good team. But the Yankees are the best team in baseball right now. So the Yankees are an underdog. I'll take it. I'll take the Yankees as an underdog, and I'll roll with it.
That's why it's so deceiving to me, though.
Yeah.
Like it makes me
totally agree.
Yeah, it makes me think I got to put the Blue Jays on my ticket today for sure.
Yeah. I get that line of thought. I really do. But for our purposes, it's for me, it's not like I'm betting on these games for real. So for me, it's like roll with the Yankees, the best team, as an underdog, and take your chances. So.
They are. I saw a stat the other day. They are on a pace right now, the same pace as the 1998 New York Yankees.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
They were pretty good. Yeah.
I didn't see this one coming. I didn't pick the Yankees to make the playoffs.
Yeah, did I? I can't remember.
I think you did. You did. But you know,
believe me, I didn't think they were going to be this good.
They all can't be winners. But speaking of winners, this one's a winner for you. The Braves, the rebound today. I mean, like they lost 1-0 yesterday to the Cubs. The Cubs stink, and that's one of my can you believe it's that we're going to touch on, courtesy of Jason Stark, coming up in a couple minutes. After that 1-0 loss, -168. That's my favorite for the day. Braves rebound. They're going to beat the Cubs at Wrigley. Your second one?
All right, I agree with that. San Diego over Colorado. San Diego's really starting to play some pretty good baseball. They're favored today, but only at -125 over Colorado in Colorado. I'm going with San Diego. I think the Padres continue to play well. They're trying to keep pace with the Dodgers and doing a pretty good job of it. So give me San Diego as my favorite.
You know, anytime I hear San Diego, I actually said this at the rehearsal dinner last night. I think about Anchorman. Hey, you know what San Diego stands for? I won't say it.
Yeah.
I won't say it, but for those of you that haven't seen Anchorman, see Anchorman. Good movie.
Absolutely.
My dog for today, I'm sticking in the NL East. The Marlins at +160. They lost the opener. On Friday night at Citi Field. The Marlins are a proverbial pain in the ass pretty much anywhere you go.
Yeah.
That's a tough team to beat, and I'm taking the Marlins today. It's just my gut, and I do have a gut. +160. That's my second pick. Last pick for this week.
All right. I would have taken the other side of that just for the record, but I hope you're right. All right. Finally, the Dodgers. Who are they playing? I forget now. I didn't write. The Dodgers are playing a bad team. I saw that. Like you were asking me about the underdog on that. That's the reason why I said +198. Yeah, the Guardians. The Guardians aren't a bad team. They're just not at the Dodgers level. Okay, well
they're the wild card race.
And they're not a great team. But over under in that game is 8. I'm gonna take the over. I've been getting burned with unders over the last couple of weeks, so I'm taking the over 8. Dodgers, Indians. That's my play.
All right, I'm actually going with an under this week. I feel so unfun when I take an under. I want offense, but
I know, I hear you.
This line looks too small for two bad teams. Under 7.5, Royals A's number looks, like I said, low enough for two bad teams for me to hop on top of that one. So I'm taking the 7.5 there for that one. We're going to skip through the sounder this week for Can You Believe It? Let's go ahead. Let's just dive right into the Can You Believe It? Murph, I know you were trying to dig some up for me.
Yeah, I got a couple.
What do you got? You're not utilizing your big asset this year, which is the Phillies research department.
Yeah, I know. Well, they've been a little bit busy over the course of the last 36 hours, as we all have. But so I had to kind of dig these up on my own. That's fine. This one is about a ball player named Mike Trout, who you may have heard of. They're in Seattle over this weekend, and he has 29 home runs at T-Mobile Park, and that is the most in any road stadium. 29 home runs in an away ballpark.
And that's a pitcher's park.
Yeah, that's not an easy place to hit home runs.
No.
Except for Mike Trout. He loves it there. So how about that? All right.
What a beast. All right. Mine, I talked about this a few minutes ago, courtesy of Jason Stark, involving the Cubs, who had a 10-game losing streak, and the Braves, who had a 14-game winning streak. The last time a team with a double-digit losing streak beat a team on a double-digit win streak, September 15th, 1999, your fighting Philadelphia Phillies did it over the Houston Astros.
That's right. We took them to town that day.
All right, your second one.
That's a good one. It's funny that you say that, because when I saw that the that the Braves had lost to the Cubs, and that, the 14 and the 10, I said to myself, Jason's going to tell us when the last time that happened. The great Jason Stark, all over it, of course. So that's good stuff. All right, my next one is how about third basemen with 1,500 or more hits through their age 29 season? Only 6 in the history of baseball.
Wow.
Okay. Adrian Beltre, George Brett, Freddie Lindstrom, Eddie Matthews, Ron Santo, and now Manny Machado.
Wow. Okay. I was about
100 plus hits as a third baseman.
I was thinking Nolan Arenado when you were going through that, but that makes sense. That makes sense for Machado. My last one, the Houston Astros have had 2 immaculate innings since the year 2000. They had 2 the other day. Luis Garcia in the second inning and Phil Maton in the 7th inning. It was the same 3 hitters that they did it against the Rangers too: Lowe, Duran, and Miller.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Pretty cool,
I didn't realize
right?
that part of it. I knew they had the 2, but I didn't realize it was the same hitters. That's not so good. How about what's the complete opposite of an immaculate inning? Is there a name for that? Because in game 1 of the Phillies, where are we? Washington right now. They had a pitcher who threw 12 straight balls, walked the bases loaded.
That's called a Ricky Vaughn.
I like that. Right. Ball 4, ball 8, ball 12. Yeah.
Real quick, Sean Henderson. Sean crying after sack speech is set at -250 for tonight.
Okay.
And then Unhappy Gilmore says, Sack, you're not allowed to give movie advice. I can about certain movies. I just can't about gangster movies. But let's look at the week ahead here. We're finishing up the series. Obviously, we're recording on Saturday morning. Finish up 2. Let's take, I've said going into the series 4 out of 5. Hell, why not? Let's get the sweep. We're off on Monday. 2 with the Rangers and Dallas-Fort Worth. Rangers are playing good baseball right now. They're 31-33, second place in the AL West with all the struggles that the Angels have had. They took 2
back.
here. Yeah, 9 games back, but they're in the playoff position right now. They're right there in the wild card race, and they took 2 from us here at the bank earlier this season. So it'd be nice to get some revenge in a 4-game set against the first place San Diego Padres. The Dodgers have been struggling, and the Padres have taken advantage of that and have hopped up in the first place. Big week ahead, big rest of this trip.
Yeah. So, you and I talked about this last week, and you said 4 out of 5. I agreed with you. That's what you had to do down here in Washington. And then, you'd love to take both games in Texas. But if you split there and you split in San Diego, I think you come home feeling really good about your trip. That said, I agree with you. Why not at this point win all 5 down here in D.C.? This Nationals team is a bad team. And the Braves came down, and they did that. You know what I mean? Like, they took every game they played against the Nats, and that's what the good teams do. So, hopefully, the next 2 go the Phil's way. You get out of here 5 straight wins. Then you go to Texas. Who knows? You win at least 1, but hopefully 2. And then you go out and battle San Diego and see where the cards fall. But it remains a big road trip for the Phils, and it certainly has started off the right way. They just need to keep it rolling.
Historically, the Phillies have played well in San Diego too.
Yeah, they have.
Despite the fact that that the Padres are playing well, the Phillies have played well in San Diego years.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. Looking forward to it for sure. Murph, thank you so much. And Super Sam Brady.
I want to wish your brother all the best. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to you and the family. Have an awesome time today. Weddings are the best. So all the best.
I appreciate that, brother, very much. And I appreciate you waking up so early to do this with me today. And Super Sam Brady for looking fantastic with her makeup from last night in Atlantic City. And like I said, I want to, again, congratulate my brother as well. I'm so proud of you and the man that you have become. I love you so much. Rachel, you're a huge contribution to the family. And now we have 2 Rachel Sacks in the family.
Yeah.
But shout out to the OG, my wife for
Oh,
sure.
the tears are coming, by the way. The tears are happening. I'm backing you.
Yeah. Well, Sean's definitely crying tonight, and I might get choked up towards the end of my speech as well.
You're gonna go ahead.
But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to it. It's always a beautiful day. But like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard, we are out of here, baby. Let's keep this up, fighting Phils. Let's finish off the Nationals. Congratulations to Ryan Zimmerman for his number 11 being retired by the Washington Nationals, and we will see you guys next week from San Diego and Cooperstown, New York. Perfect.
All right.
Great job. Thanks, Murph.
Yeah, thank you.